purchasing such a major item. So this morning, you guys, was such an amazing morning of worship. And the thing that was in my heart this morning, which is one of the reasons that um, I'm jumping on in such a, it's like I'm still in a place of worship. I'm still in a place of prayer. And sometimes when you're in that place and you got to snap into the next thing, it's a little bit of a challenge. So this morning in prayer, God was reminding me of how he's Jehovah Jireh. And I played that song and it just, it stuck with me, and how he is the provider and he's the one that protects and he's the one that covers. He is our victory. He is our peace. Like everything we do is rooted in him. And it's still in my heart, and I can still feel him. I still feel his presence. So forgive me, but not really. Because everybody should have a little bit of this. It just feels wonderful. But like I said, sometimes going from that into something that's on our schedule can be kind of a little bit of a disconnect. So we're going from being in a high place of praise and worship back to reality, into the worldly reality. But the real world is the spirit world, and it's just a wonderful place to be and to stay and to dwell with the Most High God and in his presence and in his face. So that's that. And that just explains why I'm just kind of a little bit here and in someplace else at the same time. But I'm going to allow the Holy Spirit to just flow, and I'm going to allow him to take over, because look, everything we do, we have God in mind. At least I do. And so this business belongs to him. This is his business. We are partners in this. We are working together, and he instructed me to get these people together, instruct, house as many people as possible, share the things that I'm learning. And so I'm being obedient to the flow of the Holy Spirit. I'm being obedient to what God has asked me to do. And sometimes there's hiccups, sometimes there's life be lifing, and that's why we having these lives, right? Because when life starts lifing and things starts showing up and unexpected occurrence happen, who do we lean on? Who do we rest on to help us get through it but Jesus, right? So if it wasn't for God in my life and just having his strength and his power, I could not even do half the things. The people that I meet, they're wonderful. They're so knowledgeable. You're going to see when Gayle comes on later, they have so much knowledge, so much information to share. Why would I hold that to myself? Why would I not share that with other people? So that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing it because there's someone out there who can benefit from this information. If God brought me to it, it's because he wants somebody to benefit, not just me. And so that's why I'm here. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for all those who have reached out to me, who have told me, I see your lives. Thank you for the information. Those who are watching, I know you're watching. Thank you. Those who are viewing the videos later on, use this information. Use this information. And by the time you get to my stage where you're ready to purchase or repurchase, or you're ready to use your property and rent out and get tenants, and you are prepared. Okay, so don't just go by where you are in your situation today. Where you are today is just a foundation of where you're going. So like I was saying, everything I do with God in mind. Um, He also reminded me today about being the chief cornerstone. And so he said, "Who is hi, friend? How
Hello.
are you?"
Oh, I'm doing all right. I was just getting a little
Awesome.
worried, so I couldn't figure out how to navigate
It's
everything.
okay. It's okay. We are all learning, and I love your top because you know orange is my brand colors,
Oh,
and it
okay.
reminds me of the Holy Spirit. Yes,
Ooh,
fire in the
ooh.
house.
All right.
So that's awesome. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Um,
Okay.
so I hope you guys on Facebook can hear. Um, because and I'm going to share this live on Facebook later on.
Okay.
But right now we are in the webinar platform.
Okay.
I will share that link to you guys later on. But we're going to get Gayle started. I was talking to everyone about how and why we are here. And part of the reason why I'm here is to share all the wonderful information that I've been learning from experts in the field, right? We're not doing this alone. And God has blessed me to meet some incredible people that have experience that can take you through this journey, that can guide you, all the things that we need to do to get us to where God is blessing us. So we
Mhm.
want to make sure that we're prepared. We want to make sure we're protected once God starts blessing. So for too many of us, God is blessing us. He has the blessings just hovering over us, and He's presenting it, but we're not able to handle it. So I listened to a speaker not too long ago, and he was talking about responsibility or being responsible, and it's
Mhm.
being able to respond. You are able to respond when God shows up. Are you able to respond, or do you have all your things in place to be responsible for what God is going to bless you with? And so Gayle is here. Miss Gayle Warren, my beautiful, beautiful friend, is here, and she's going to drop some amazing nuggets um, about preparation.
Mhm.
And she is going to just help you. And I'm going to share some information of how she can not only help you, but connect with you. She can answer your questions. Um, but let me just make sure that we are wise stewards over the things that God is going to bless us with.
Mhm.
Uh, so Miss Gayle Warren, she is here. I'm so sorry. I am. She's going to give you practical insights on protecting yourself from identity theft, navigating identity, everyday legal matters, creating a stronger foundation for your financial future. Right? You should attend this. If you are a homeowner, you want to be a homeowner. If you're working to improve your credit, right? If you're a family building financial stability, this is the place that you want to be. This is what you want to hear about, because you have to protect what God is giving you. So
Mhm.
we are building on a foundation that is going to be stronger. And um, she's been here before, and she's here again. She is Regional Vice President of LegalShield, and she is going to talk to us about changing our structure, changing the way that we're building, right? Come with your questions. You have questions. We're going to take questions towards the end, and we're building for a special future. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you my friend, Miss Gayle Warner.
Hello, hello. I'm really glad to be here, and I love what the work that you're doing, bringing in professionals. Because anytime that God gives us a vision, it's never us alone. Um, if it's us alone that can make it happen, You got to wonder, did he give us that? Because we serve a big God. And because we serve a big God, it takes a lot of people and
It
a lot
really
of
does.
moving parts to accomplish the goals. So I work that way in my business. That's probably why we connected, because I recognize that I can't do it all. Even with the knowledge and experience that I have, I need support. And
Yes.
it's important that you as an individual know that as well and be willing and vulnerable enough to ask for help in the areas where you don't have expertise. He
Yes.
gifts us all with something, but not with everything.
Correct.
Really glad
We
to.
are interdependent. And I think in today's society, where we is such a independent, especially in this part of the world, everything is about independence. I could do it myself. I could pull my own bootstraps up, and that is not how God ever intended for us to operate. We are
Mm-mm.
interdependent. We rely totally on Him, and then He gives us people. It's up and down, and it's side to side. He's given
Yes.
us people to help build His kingdom here on earth.
Yes. Yes. And he'll give us what we need if we ask him and trust that he will. So, yeah, definitely.
That part, if we ask Him. So for most of the people that I've been meeting, they're asking Him. They want
No, you kind of breaking up.
to get into real estate. They want to find out, like, what do they need to do to get this blessing that God is putting on their heart. And one of the major things that most of the people in my industry, of course, they want to buy a home. We have some first time
Mm,
homeowners. They want to
awesome.
buy a home. They hear about home ownership, and they hear about first time home buyer programs and all these things. So now they are on this journey. So what are some things that you would tell somebody who is a first time home buyer?
Mhm.
What are some things that you would tell them in order to get started protecting the biggest asset that they're going to have, most people are going to have, is their home? Where would you tell them to get started?
Well, first of all, there are free home buyer education classes that you should adhere yourself to, and maybe even multiple times. I know that I used to run a program, and that's what we did. And there's a lot to the process that you don't know, a lot of behind the scenes things that have to happen to make us getting to the closing table. And so the first thing I would say is education. You need to go to a homebuyer education class, connect yourself with a realtor that supports that kind of activity. If you meet a realtor and they're just like, let's go, let's find you a house, that is not the
Right.
answer.
That is not the one for you.
No, no.
Exactly.
Even if you
Yes.
even if you bought a house before, like myself, when I do decide to buy another house, I'm going to act like I'm brand new because everything changes every day. I've worked on every side of the home buying process from origination to closing and working with realtors, and everything changes all the time.
All the
It
times.
doesn't
Yes.
matter what you think you know because you probably don't know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, you don't
You
know.
probably don't.
And
Exactly.
come into it like that and don't feel ashamed or discouraged or worried. Learn what you need to learn and glean from those individuals who can help you, because they are out there, but you have to find them. And you can't let somebody bogart you into purchasing when you're not quite ready. So that would be the first thing that I would be looking at. I'd be looking at, am I really ready? Because the classes are going to help you figure that out. You're gonna come out of that class and go, yes, or you're gonna come out of that class and go, no.
What is that? Right.
So that's like the number one thing to me is education. Even in the area that I work within with legal services, I educate people on how our company functions to provide protection for your assets and yourself and your family and all that. But I start with education. People are like, oh, I just need to get the plan. No, I need to
Mm-mm.
know about you. I need to know what your needs are. I need to know what you already have in place. Same thing with your purchasing a home. You need to know, and so does your team, Your team meaning your realtor, your banker, your job, all those components that are going to help you get to that place. I used to, as an originator, I remember having some customers that would change jobs, in the middle of the home buying process.
Oh my God, I just heard that.
I'm
I
like,
just
what?
had that happen.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even know that.
It's so heartbreaking. Yes, I just had that happen. They thought they was going to be getting a better opportunity and changing jobs. And I was like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's just that, and see, because of the lack of education of the
Right.
process, that's what caused that. Yes, it looked like a great opportunity, but if you're already approved with the current opportunity, the grass is not always greener. On the
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
close on your house and then take the job. I'm not saying
Right.
don't take the job. I'm just saying that you got to understand, once something is approved, it's approved.
It's
But,
approved.
but if
Right. You got
anything
there for a
changes,
reason. Yes.
I've had people take money out the bank and buy a car. I've had people pay on the credit card. I'm like, don't do nothing. Don't do anything.
Buy a refrigerator. Like, oh, but I need a refrigerator. No.
I know you need a refrigerator,
Wait.
but you don't need it today.
Right. Right.
So it's just those unwise decisions that we make that impact everything.
Yes.
And so wise counsel in all these areas. And when I say wise counsel, I don't just mean attorneys. I mean wise counsel around you. A realtor has studied. A realtor has worked with a broker who has helped them to understand the process. So some realtors have closed millions of dollars on homes.
Yes.
Here you are coming in, right? And here you are coming in here thinking you know what you're doing, and you don't know what you're doing. And I don't care if you've owned a house for 30 years and then you stopped and you start. It doesn't matter. It's a different process.
Change
every time. So that's the main thing that I really want people to understand, that they need guidance in multiple areas.
Right.
They need guidance from their real estate professionals. That's who knows the market, where they should buy, what they should bid. Everything is going to come through that relationship. And communication. Be sure that you explain what you're trying to do. What is your goal? Are you buying a second home? Are you buying, is the first home? Is this your forever home? What is the goal here? And then that way, once you explain the goal, and your partners in the process understand the goal, we can all work towards the goal. And so that's the part of it that I think people get a little lost on. And they do make these mistakes like your client just did. And then call the counsel before you make a decision about the process.
That part.
Because if they had called you and said,
be honest. How about that?
I got to be honest, open,
there's no
transparent.
need to hide. Don't hide anything.
No, we're going to find out.
Share what you're doing. We're, as professionals, I don't know, there's a disconnect, and there's a trust issue. Yeah. And you have to be, the world has made it so we don't trust people. Yeah. We don't feel comfortable sharing, especially when you're talking about finances, when you're talking about money and stuff like that. People are very reserved when it comes to talking about these issues. But when you're around professionals, you got to be honest. You got to show it all. It's like if you go to the doctor, you can't keep your clothes on and say, "Can you check me out?" You know what I mean? You're going to have to take your clothes off at some point and put the gown, put the gown. You don't go into surgery fully clothed. So you got to be a little bit.
Yes, absolutely correct.
You got to be a little bit vulnerable, when you're talking about assets and money and all these things, your bank account, your tax returns, your pay stubs. We have to see these things. We have to see what's going on. And it could be a little uncomfortable, but just it's a process. We're here to help you. So that part, definitely that part.
Yes. So the education on all fronts, knowing where you are and going through the homebuyer education is going to help you figure out all of that, because all of the pillars that were within a good homebuyer education program, and you don't have to go through it once. maybe you need to go through it twice. There might be two or
Yes.
three different agencies that you can go through, or different components, or like your bank may offer something, and they're going to offer something that's more maybe high level. Whereas a home buyer education program is going to dig deep. They're going to sit down and look at your credit with you and understanding that. And then accepting where you are. That's the most important thing. Don't try
Right.
to jump ahead of the game because you think you should, or why can't I have this right now? The timing is everything. The
Come on.
market timing, your the fact, like you mentioned with this person with this job, maybe they were ahead of the game. Maybe they
Yes.
should have waited to buy because they knew they were looking for something further with their job. But the knowing that if you take that new job, now we got to wait 6 more months or more to
Right.
show that you have the job, that it's going to impact your income.
Yes.
Same thing with your credit. You need to know where you are with that. And then you need to be able to figure out what the next steps are in that process. Because again, if something's on your credit report and maybe it's going to fall off in 3 months, that's the time that we get it pulled versus applying for things and, oh, I needed this car. When you buy a car, my God, they run your credit like they lost their minds.
Right.
And you can really mess yourself up in the home buying process just by looking to buy a car. As soon as you say, yeah, I'm really interested in this car, I like to get financing, that's carte blanche. They
Right.
just run with it. And you might have 10 to 15 inquiries on your credit report. And then you
Right.
decide, I don't want to buy the car.
Let's talk about that a little bit
Mhm.
because so in the process of preparing and protecting, at
Mhm.
what point do you think a person should start protecting? So you just mentioned your credit report. So you know
Mhm.
that it's a strategy because you mentioned a few things that I want to touch on. So you mentioned checking with different, making sure the people that you work with is right, right? So making sure the bank you work with is right, making sure the realtor that you work with is the right one, making sure
Mhm.
that all the
Mhm.
people on your team are the right ones. So if you're pulling your credit and you're meeting with different, maybe you meet with a lender, maybe you
Mhm.
meet with
Mhm. Mhm.
a loan officer, a bank professional, they're going to be pulling your credit. How concerned should we be at that point with protection,
Mhm. Mhm.
having so many different people looking at our credit report?
Well, you need to treat that credit report like it's you, because it is.
Mm,
You have to be thinking through the process.
mm-hmm,
And first of all, you got to understand the process, because if you don't understand the process, then you won't know the mistakes that you may be making.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
our company actually, because of our membership and the needs of our clients, we
mm-hmm.
actually have credit counselors.
Okay.
If you have our legal plan and our identity theft protection plan, because we know identity theft is on the rise, it's
It
never
is.
stopped, and it's gotten worse after COVID. We actually have credit counselors that will go over your credit report with you and educate you, and then we will help you improve it if
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're trying to do. Because once we know again what your goal is, then we have a team of people that can actually help you with that. So, people always think of LegalShield with this, the company that I the services, represent the services. Um, they actually have two pillars of products. We have our legal service, which most people know about.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say most people. I'll say 3% of the population.
Really, some people, and that's
Some
what we
people know
share,
about
right? We are
it.
sharing what's
Um,
available.
but many people don't know about our services. And
Mm-hmm.
what happens there is, once you actually have our legal plan, and then you get identity theft protection, because you're caring about monitoring the
Right,
information that people get access to.
right.
And if you become a victim, which is a whole other thing, we do full restoration. But we have a whole component that people don't realize is our credit counseling for our members that carry both levels of protection, because we recognize that that person is going to probably need either some assistance with clearing something off their credit report, or they're going to need some assistance with legal situations that occur because of that. Because if
Yes.
there's something on your credit report and you're trying to deal with that creditor, you may actually need an attorney to help you deal with that collection.
Or, right,
Something along
exactly.
those lines.
Or
And then now
something
we
that's
can't
not
use
what you did, or
right,
identity theft and
right,
all of that
right.
stuff. Right.
And nothing that that we can do on our own sometimes is going to be able to help us with that. So
Exactly.
again, we go back to the team. We go back to the team
To help guide us through that process. So when you're thinking about the buying process, we have people who are ready to buy, they're ready to purchase, they're checking their credit. They're, at what point, I know that now, the basic is, if you know that all these people will be looking at your credit, make sure you have credit monitoring. So that's definitely protection for your credit monitoring. Make sure everything that's on there is what's yours, and not, no, nothing fraudulent is happening. Right.
Yes, yes.
So also, that I would say would you say that is where we should start protecting in this process? Or do you think there's a place to start before that?
I think it's a place to start before that.
Okay.
Because we know that people who steal identities might buy a house in your name. They might buy a house in your child's name. We have clients that we have had to help in those areas. So if you aren't monitoring that for yourself and your family, not just yourself, but your children, or if you're a new American, you're just like a child.
Yes.
That information it's fresh and clean. And those are the accounts that they look for. And they look for children's accounts because they know that child is not looking at the credit report. So the child's not looking or monitoring, and the parents not looking at monitoring. That's another avenue. There's been many young people who've gotten 18 and 19 years old and have had gas bills in their name, have had cars purchased, homes purchased, student
nobody
loans.
was looking.
Because nobody was looking.
Right.
Now here I am trying to resolve this issue, and I'm just starting out my adult life. And it's so unfair when that happens. But we as parents have an obligation, and it's necessary for us to find a way to protect our children along with protecting ourselves. So we have family legal protection plans that cover your children up to the age of 18. So we're going to monitor that information and you can monitor if you got more than 6 or 8 kids, then you have to pick which ones because we only go up to about 8. Okay. But if you got 8 kids, you got other things going on.
God bless you.
However, we do monitor the information, and we have real-time alerts. So, for example, if somebody buys something using your credit, if you've got that account being monitored by us because you're able to put everything into a virtual vault, your credit card, your passport, we monitor everything that matters in your life. Right. Because the dark web is real. We are all victims already.
Yes.
It's just a matter of when is our number going to come up.
Right.
And so we monitor all of that information. If something happens, you're going to get an email. You're going to get a real-time alert on your app that, for example, there was a couple that I know, and actually he was buying her a gift at a jewelry store, but she didn't know that. And so she gets an alert on her identity theft app that something is being purchased. She's like, I'm not buying anything. What is going on? He's like, dang, I can't even surprise my wife. But that's a bad thing. But it was a good thing. What if he wasn't buying something and somebody else was buying something for their wife?
Right. Exactly.
So that monitoring is vital. And then restoration. You need to be with a company. It's not just about monitoring. You need to be with a company that can actually restore you back to your pre-theft status, whatever that happens to be. We always kind of jokingly say, we're going to get you, if your credit was bad, it's still going to be bad, but it's going to be yours.
It's going to be your credit,
But we help to, with our attorneys and with the identity theft protection plan, which we are voted the #1 identity theft protection plan for the last 4 years.
That's amazing.
So,
congratulations.
People say, well, I already got something through my bank. Well, the bank is only worried about the bank.
Exactly. Protect yourself.
They're not worried about you. They're not worried about you getting stopped by the police and somebody used your information, your brother or your cousin, somebody used your driver's license number to get
We
a
don't
ticket,
think about that.
didn't pay
We
it,
don't think
or
about
did a
family members
crime.
using our name. Yes.
That kind of thing happens all the time.
I know, I've heard of that.
Yeah, there was a gentleman, that happened to him. He ended up getting arrested, taken to jail, and then the person who took his information committed another crime while he was in jail. That's how he got out. Because he realized, oh, he really was
How
telling the
could it
truth.
be him? Right.
It wasn't him. He was locked up. So we don't want to have that experience.
Exactly.
If we have monitoring going on and restoration, then we can help in those areas. So yes, you want to be doing that before you even get into the home buying process, because we know it's a process.
Right.
And it can be a lengthy process.
Right.
So if there are things on your credit report that aren't yours, they're going to affect that process. And so by having information ahead of time, before, as you're even thinking about buying a home, you should already have that done. You should already have pulled your credit. You should already be understanding and knowing the direction you need to go with that. What do I need to pay off? Maybe I don't have enough credit. That's a whole other issue.
Yes.
Some people are big credit card people, and some people are just not.
Right.
And if you don't have any proof of your ability, your credibility,
right,
you're not going to get too far as well.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of layers to it. And the only reason I know all of this is because I've been in the banking business for 30 years.
Right.
Financial services. And so I've been around so many things and seen so many things happen to so many people, that the education that I've been able to give to others and experience myself has afforded me the opportunity to be able to say these things that I'm saying. I'm not just talking, something I read out of a book. I'm talking about people,
real
lives.
people,
Real lives. I'll never forget this. I don't know why this came to my mind, but there was a lady that came to me. She wanted to buy a home. I remember I actually went to her home, and she was showing me all these debts that weren't hers.
Wow.
And I was going over her credit report, and she was very upset. As it turned out, her ex-husband had married a woman with the same first name. And then they were using her information, because of course he knew her date of birth, he knew her social.
Crazy. Oh my
Same
goodness.
first name. So she's saying it's not me, but what? And we're talking about like 20 years ago. We didn't have any of the technology we have today. I never knew what actually happened. I just had to tell her I couldn't do anything.
Wow.
There was anything I could do until
At
she
that
got
time,
this
yeah.
off. There weren't companies that were
like, yeah. Oh my God.
How do you prove it's not you when it's the same name, the same social, same date of birth, and
everything the same?
Everything the same.
Same husband.
Same husband. That was a foul brother. Hopefully,
crazy.
Real
right.
For him to do that. But yeah, he with the same first name. And then took over her financial life.
Wow.
Utilizing.
That is wild.
It was causing her all sorts of heartache and grief. And
well, that's why we're here, because we don't want
heartache and
our
grief.
people to suffer heartache and grief. Yes. So we are letting them know that there are services, there are things out there that will protect you in advance. Get protection on your credit, get protection for your home. But before we move on to the home, there's another protection that I want to just squeeze in there, because we were talking about protecting yourself. We know that the bank is going to look out for the bank, and we need to look out for ourselves and our interests. So how important is it to have a will?
Vital. I hear people all the time saying, well, I hear single moms going, I don't have anything. I just have 4 kids.
Right.
Okay. I don't own a home yet. I'm young. We know that people are passing away every day.
Every day.
Every day. And death doesn't have a number on it. And if you don't protect whatever you've built to this point, your family is going to suffer because of it. I know of situations specifically where young people, and I'm saying under the age of 40, have passed away with children with no will. That means that those children become a ward of the state. And now the family has to fight to get custody of those children. And unfortunately, sometimes it could be that uncle, the bad uncle, or the bad
Come on.
auntie who gets
Yes.
custody of these children.
Right.
And each child is entitled to Social Security, maybe $600-700 a month. And if you've got 3 or 4
They don't
kids,
see any of it.
they, whoever gets custody of those children is going to be in charge of that till that child turns 18. So whatever number of children you have, and something happens to you, multiply that by about $700-800 a month. That's thousands of dollars somebody's going to manage. You can, from the grave, dictate what you want for your children. Now, be a homeowner, be married. There was a gentleman. He's on our team in Indiana, and he actually told us about how he had done his will, but his wife passed away before him, and she had told him, "Yeah, I got it. Yeah," and she never did it.
Wow.
So he had to act, and he was married for 30-something years to this lady. And he had to fight for things because there were some things, you have some things in your name, some things in their name. He had to actually fight for things from the estate because it was in his wife's name, because there was no will for her. Then there's a situation of the living will. If you don't have a living will and you cannot speak and something happens to you with your health, we don't know your wishes.
Right.
So I tell people
making that decision. Yes.
Absolutely. If you're 18, you need a will. There was a young girl who, she's a daughter of one of our associates, and she fell into a coma with college. She's in her early 20s, so of course, well over 18. And when she's at the hospital, they don't know who she is, all these things because she's in a coma. And so friends were able to locate her because they couldn't find her for a little while and all that. And what happened was she didn't have a living will. So when her parents actually got to the hospital would not disclose any information about their daughter.
Oh my goodness.
Even though they're the one paying for college and all this, they because of HIPAA laws, they don't have to disclose. That's what a living will does. It says, this is my wishes if I cannot speak for myself. If you're a single person who your mama and daddy can't come in there and, you're a young adult. Once you're 18, you're an adult. That's in our books. Even though you can't vote yet, you're still an adult. And when it comes to healthcare and those kinds of things. So that's why I tell people, you need those documents: a will, living will, health power of attorney, financial power of attorney. Your bank account. Your name's the only person on the bank account. So something happens to you and they need the money in your bank account to help care for you, but you haven't put anybody's name. You don't have a living will or anything that says, take care of my finances. I can't speak for myself. So this whole package we provide through LegalShield at no cost. It's part of our membership.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. That is incredible. I hope you guys are listening and paying attention to these scenarios, because these scenarios happen every day, all day long. People are dying, unfortunately, ending up in the hospital. You want to think about who is going to be responsible for speaking on your behalf. You have it written down. Put it in a document that this is what I want to happen in the event that I can't speak for myself. So definitely good information to think about. So now we're going to talk about the home for a moment.
Okay.
So we know issues arise with the home buying process. Issues arise when you have a home. What contracts should a homeowner actually read?
None of them. The lawyer should read them. You can read them.
You don't know what it's
You don't know what you read. And people crack me up when they go, "Oh, knock on wood, I'm so glad I haven't had to use an attorney." What are you talking about?
You have legal stuff all the time.
Anytime you sign anything that obligates you to anything with your money, that is a contract. There are terms that have to be followed. A credit card application is a contract.
It is.
So if you have a credit card, you have signed a contract. And it was prepared by an attorney. So it's not that you've never used an attorney. You just haven't used your own attorney.
Exactly.
You've been using their attorney. And their attorney is writing everything out for their good, not yours.
Right.
So, no, we shouldn't be reading any contracts. We should
Let
allow
somebody else read it.
an
Right.
attorney who knows what it says tell us what it says. I'll never
Explain it.
forget a couple years back, my car was stolen and damaged and had to get a new car and all this jazz. And I was out of town when it got stolen. And so I reached out to LegalShield and I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? She said, well, first thing, get a copy of your auto policy and send it to me. And I was like, okay. I got it over to her via, thank God for email and, all that. I was able to, I talked to the claims person. They sent me the contract because I'm out of town. I don't have anything with me.
Gotcha.
And I got it over to the attorney same day. She said, I'm going to read it. And I was like, all of it? I don't know if you've ever read your auto policy. Usually it's about 40 pages long. She read all of it. And she called me back within 24 hours and told me everything that I needed to know. She summarized 40 pages. That was part of my membership. I didn't pay her anything extra for that. Right? Mm-hmm. And within that contract, it stated that I get 30 days of a car rental. In the event that, because I have comprehensive, oh, by the way, I always carry comprehensive insurance. Mm-hmm. It's a couple dollars more, but a lifesaver.
Yes.
And actually, I didn't own the car. I had comprehensive insurance on it. It was my mom's car. Oh. My mom had passed away. So it was a very complicated situation.
Yes.
My mom had passed away. The car gets stolen. It's not in my name. I'm driving it, but it's not in my name. So when it gets stolen, it gets put in the impound. You think they're going to give it to me?
No.
Well, because of my attorneys and what I learned through the process, they were able to get the car out of impound. She told me what to do, have the insurance company request the car because all those little intricacies that I didn't know anything about. Yes. I got the car out of the impound without paying for it. On top of that,
come on,
they took the car wherever the insurance company had it. She was able to get me access to the car because my contents was in the car.
Right.
When it got stolen, I was able to get out everything of the car that I needed and wanted. Then we sold the car back to the insurance company, gave me a check. And what happened was, because of the check, the amount was approved 3 days before I received the check. I was responsible for the car rental for those 3 days because I accepted the offer.
Gotcha.
That was also part of my policy information. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that, right?
But it made no sense.
Don't know. Right.
The day I accept is not the day you issue me the money.
Exactly.
It took 3 days to get the wire or whatever it was.
Exactly.
And so I'm like, why do I have to pay $50 a day for this car? I still got to drive a car because my car got told, that's why we have insurance.
Exactly.
And so I told her after the end of it, she's like, you okay with everything? I said, no, I'm not.
I don't want to pay that.
I don't want to pay the extra $150. That's my money. Shoot, that wasn't fair. And so what ended up happening, she said, it isn't fair. Let me call this claims person.
Let's talk about this. Mm-hmm.
And she called over there, and 2 days later, I had me a check for $150 after the fact.
There you go.
But none of that would have happened without having my attorney in the process. Mm-hmm. And people think like, oh my God, I got a car accident. They get all these letters because, that's recorded. They get all these letters. Mm-hmm. But I don't have to worry about any of that because if something happens, I already have attorneys on retainer. I'm with a group of over 5 million people who are paying these attorneys on a monthly basis. They still get the $300 to $400 an hour now.
And then you get it all from me. Right. You get lawyers who are experts in whatever you're going through at that time. As opposed if you only have one kind of lawyer and then another problem comes up, then you got to find a lawyer who's an expert in that. You have it all in one system.
One system. It's called a proprietary network. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's a closed network, meaning
Yes.
that we have already vetted the attorneys, meaning that we have already made sure that they're AV rated, that they've got 20 years experience in their area of law, that they know what they're doing, they work for reputable law firms, all of that.
Right.
Because I don't know if you ever hired an attorney or if any of our listeners have hired an attorney and they didn't do them right and they took their money. What did you get? They
Right.
said, call the bar association.
Right.
If you ever call the bar association, guess what they're going to say? File a complaint.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of
File
that.
a complaint and you're lost. Do you get lost in the system?
You get lost in the system and you certainly don't get your money back unless you
Right.
actually sue the lawyer.
Right.
Try to do that. So we have a whole department, over 750 associates that work on behalf of our members. So if there's an issue with an attorney or they're not doing what they're supposed to do or following the agreement that we have with them, we have a department that will investigate that as part of our membership. So not only do you have access to attorneys that are quality, you have access to people who monitor the attorneys who are quality.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So I know you've seen it all. You've seen a lot, right? So we have complaints against neighbors. We have repair contracts where your contractor don't work out or takes your money. What would you say is a legal issue that surprises most homeowners?
Oh, got some experience with that one. I would say a couple of things that have come up is inspections and warranties. You get a home warranty, you don't know what that home warranty actually says before you get it, or it comes with the house. Sometimes the home warranty will come with the house. Even if it comes with the house and it's free, you still need to let the attorney look at it so that you know what it covers and what it doesn't cover.
Exactly.
Because it may not be what you want.
What you think, right?
What you think, what you want, what you need.
Exactly.
We've got warranties that are an issue. We have inspections that are an issue. And the people involved in the process that can be an issue. Let me give you another example. My daughter was able to purchase a home. She actually purchased it out of state. So she lived somewhere else, bought it here in Ohio. And what happened was the real estate agent, who didn't know her real well, had hired a home inspector for my daughter. And it was a friend of hers. So sometimes things get a little too, like, we don't need all these people to be your friend.
Right. They have to come with credentials.
Right. So
Right.
you need to check that out. So she didn't do her due diligence with this inspector. As it turned out, the inspector missed some things, and we had to have the house re-inspected by someone that I knew. And he came in and found all these things that the original inspector should have found. And as a result of it, we called the attorneys, and it was just a big old mess. This was at post-closing.
Oh, man.
Most of the time, post-closing, you're not getting anything.
Yeah, you bought the house.
Post-closing. And my daughter ended up picking up a check from the title company after everything was said and done because of the second inspection that took place. So you need to interview all these parties. You need to know, they come refer to you, ask them some questions. How many inspections have you done? Something happened with me. I was going to buy this house. I was in a lease purchase option. So I rented the house. I think my lease purchase was 2 years. And I was in the about a year in. And so I was really trying to decide, do I really want to buy this house? It was in the area I wanted for my daughter's schooling and everything else. It had enough square foot.
It worked out. Yeah.
It was all that. However, my daughter started getting sick. I went to the doctor and they said that her levels were high. I can't remember what area, something was high. And he said, have she been exposed to mold? And I was like, no, I don't know anything about this. Then my dog got sick. And then my dog died.
Sorry.
And my dog died because my dog was there all day in this mold. So When my daughter started feeling ill, I decided I was going to have a home inspector come in, somebody that I knew, and he inspected everything. And come to find out, they had painted over mold in the basement,
Oh my
and we
goodness.
have been living there under the smoke. My daughter still has some. My younger daughter still has some issues with her stomach
I'm sorry to hear
to this
that.
day, 15 years later, because
Mm.
mold is.
It has to
And
be removed.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
it has to be removed.
not
And
painted
so,
over.
and that
Mhm.
was the cause of my dog's death. And when I confronted the owners, they were like, "Well,
Yeah.
that I am not buying this house." Then they proceeded to try to sue me for breaking the contract. No, I finished the 2 years, and I
Right. I
still
don't have to
have the
buy
right
it.
to walk away. That's what it.
Mhm.
Because I knew I had already had my contract reviewed. I
Right, right.
knew my rights.
Right.
And
Confident because
yeah,
you were prepared ahead of time. Come on. I'm
and
prepared.
she tried to sue me for $5,000, and we ended up going to litigation. And when it was said and done, the the magistrate was like, they actually didn't show up. They had an
Right.
attorney. I had my attorney. I said, I'll be dang, I'm gonna pay that little extra 25% discount to have an attorney. I'm not giving them another red nickel. I
Right.
paid everything of the lease, so you have nothing to
Right.
sue
You
me
can't
for.
take anything else from me.
And what ended up happening is that everything got dismissed because my attorney calls me. Again, I'm out of town. I'm always out of town. He calls me and he says, "Hey, you're not going to need to pay me any more money for this because I paid a down payment on the retainer." And
Right.
he said they don't have a case. He said they're going to lose. And I was like, "You sure? How do you know?" He says, "Well, I sent a request for discovery to their attorney." And discovery, just like Matlock or whatever, means
Right.
the other one attorney has to send the other attorney the evidence of my crime or my the complaint that they have.
Right.
He said, and he didn't send me anything, so they have no case.
Exactly.
And you just go ahead
One
and
letter.
he says you just go ahead and go to court and let me know if you feel funny in there, you feel like something's going to go down. Ask for a continuance, and then we'll keep it moving. I'll be there next time. He said, but I
Okay.
don't think you're going to need me. He was absolutely correct. I went to court, like I said. They didn't even show up. Their attorney was like, they're stuck in traffic. I'm like, we are not in Atlanta. What are you talking about? There's no traffic in Columbus. I mean, there's a
Right.
little bit now, but this was like
No, right.
9
No
years ago.
traffic,
There
right?
was no traffic. And so the magistrate was like, Miss Warren, I am so sorry. The court wasted your time because
Then
I
you
did
got an
not work
apology. Look
and
at
all
that.
that. He apologized to me, and I was like, oh, thank you, all this. And he said, sir, your client did not show up, has wasted the court's time. And if you don't have a full explanation as to why they did not show up for this, I'm going to dismiss this case. You have 2 weeks. I had a letter in 2 weeks that said dismissed.
Case dismissed.
And that's what my
Love
lawyer
it.
had already told me. He was like,
Right.
you don't pay me
Because
anymore
they don't
money.
have a case.
I don't have a case.
I love it.
And that's the power of having attorneys that are prepaid
Right.
because he's not looking to get that money.
No,
He's looking to do good
he's
work
good.
because
He
he's
wants to
already
do
paid
good
for it.
work. Right, right.
And that's the difference. People always say, well, why would I prepay for an attorney? Because
At
you
that
don't have
time,
$300
they're
to
gonna keep
$500 an
good
hour
work. Right.
to pay him now.
He's worried about is he going to get the rest of his money?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, lawyers have to pay their student loans off just like we
Exactly.
do. And they're small business owners just like I am. And
Exactly.
they need to make their money. They have families to take care of, just like we all do. So they earn, they're worthy of the hire and of the money that we need to pay them. But why
Yes.
do I have to pay them all that money myself? Why don't I link arms with 5 million other people and us all pay our little piece of our membership? And then
Together.
each little piece adds up and then they get their money. And I
That's
get the
amazing.
service
That's
that
an
I get.
amazing way to think of it. Yes, I love that.
Mhm.
I love that. All right. So we talked about so many things. Oh my gosh, protection all around. We talked about protecting our identity. We talked about having a
Mhm.
living will and protecting, what happens in the event that, we can't speak for ourselves.
Yes.
We talked about protecting our home in the process, like getting
Mhm.
protected, make
Mhm.
sure your inspector is good, make sure your home warranty is good. So
Yes.
I just want to touch a little bit about legacy because we're
Mhm.
building, right? So we're
Yes.
building this legacy, we're building this plan, and it has all of these components in it. So they've built up all this wealth. Someone has bought this house, and maybe they bought a second house, and maybe they started to put a portfolio together.
Mhm. Mhm.
How important is it to protect your legacy? How do you protect all of these properties that you're putting together so that your
Mhm.
children can benefit from it
Mhm.
later on?
Well, the will is just one part of the estate plan that you need to have, and that's whether you're a homeowner or owner of property or not.
Hmm.
The next layer is a trust. People always talk about Paris Hilton and like, why do we even know who she is?
Right.
The reason we know who she is because her great great granddaddy set
Great,
up a
great, great,
trust.
great.
She never meet him. Set up
Right.
a trust
Right.
for the Hilton brand,
Right.
and it had stipulations within the trust that said when Paris Hilton turns this age, she'll get this, or she won't get this, or whatever is the situation. And when that money hit, she turned whatever age she got, whatever the stipulations that great granddaddy dictated from the grave.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what a trust is. That's what it does. People of color typically don't know what it is, can't afford it, and don't have access to the knowledge of it.
Hmm.
I had first learned about a trust, and I was in my 30s. I'd never even heard of it. I was working at a very large bank, and I was closing loans. And they said, okay, this is the trust one you got to do. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so I'm reading people's 50, 60-page document of them being controlled from the grave. And it
Wow.
says things like, only people in my bloodline can get access to my property, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And I'm like, what? I just couldn't even understand. It was a concept. And I remember just spending extra time delving into this document that controlled the loan. It controlled the closing. It controlled everything. It was like a person. A trust is an entity. You can will things to it, put assets in it, and make it the beneficiary of life insurance policies and things like that. And it said all sorts of things. And I was just like amazed by this whole trust concept. And people would say, do I need a trust? Do I not need a trust? They go back and forth. Do I have enough for a trust? It's not about that. It's about legacy. Do you want to leave something for your children's children? That's what the word of God says. So yeah, you need a trust if you own anything, because you have the ability to dictate from the grave what is left to your relatives. The
Right.
inheritance. It gives
Hmm.
you that power. So we have of recent, we always did trust, and they're $3,000 to $5,000 typically. I've heard of somebody paid $15,000 for a trust before.
Hmm.
Depends on how much assets. That's how attorneys charge based off of how much time is it going to take me to put these assets to do all this. So
Right.
that lady owned a whole bunch of stuff,
Okay.
and she told me it cost her $15,000 for her estate planning to get her will and her trust done. Now,
Okay.
but what we've done is we have a plan. It's $49.95 for our membership at that level. It includes a trust, a revocable trust. It includes all the other things that our plan includes, getting your will done, consultations, unlimited consultations, and all those things. But it also allows you to pay a very reduced fee to fund the trust. because typically, like I said, it's $3,000 to $5,000. And
Mhm.
so this document, this entity that you can move your assets to, will allow you then to leave a legacy for your children's children and then some, as we know, generations to come.
Generations to
I
come.
remember talking to a gentleman, and his brother married somebody from another country, and she had 2 kids. And because trusts generally say bloodline, so
Yes.
if everybody has passed away and say this one brother was still living, the woman's daughters could get access to his assets if everybody had passed away
Okay.
without the trust, because the trust says bloodline, a will does not.
Oh,
And
got it.
so he said, oh, no, I'm doing a trust. Now that he's married to
Mhm.
these 2 kids or whatever, I'm getting a trust because I don't want them to get access to my assets.
You decide.
You decide what you
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah, it's huge. There was a case I just recently was trying to help resolve. Actually, I haven't got to it yet, but someone called me and they were like, so tell me, a friend of mine, her father died. They did a DNA test after passing, proving that she was his daughter, but she was taking care of him. She knew that was her dad the whole time. But
Mhm.
she'd been the one that nursing care, everything. She paid for his burial, everything. There was another, he had married this woman. She had a daughter who was not his blood, but he had adopted her.
Mm.
She felt like the one who really was his daughter shouldn't get anything.
Wow. Okay. She felt.
She felt, but he had no will or trust.
Mm.
And they are to this day fighting over his assets.
Wow.
One document could have solved all that.
That whole issue.
Because the one who was actually his daughter was the one who treated him like that was her father.
Right.
The one
The
who he had
adopted child.
adopted, because the mother had passed away, was like, whatever. I should get
Right.
access to everything.
Anyway.
Trying to
Yeah.
get bank accounts and just all this. So that's the power of that document. And I'm not saying this guy was a multimillionaire or nothing like that, but he owned some land.
Mm-hmm.
He had some bank accounts and he had a retirement. He had some some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the daughter who DNA daughter, we'll call her DNA daughter,
Mm-hmm.
didn't even need the money. She's like, I don't need that. I just want to make sure my father, his estate is properly taken care of, and he's
Look at
taken
that.
care of. And she's doing all these things. And here, this one over here, this other one over here is, feeling entitled. So it takes away all that when you have a trust involved in your estate planning.
That
And if
is
you truly
amazing.
want to leave legacy, you
Yes.
need to do that. You
And
need
that's what we're doing.
because
We're
losing our properties. I had to sell my mom's house. That wasn't what I wanted to do, but that's what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I'm not the only person that has had that experience, that had to go that route. So, it really gives the person power, and we all have the power.
Right.
We exercise the power.
We have to exercise the power. Yes. We have to show our power.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we don't show our power. We have the power. We have we have God covering us, but we don't exercise it here in the earth realm. We don't show that who we belong to.
Who we belong
right?
to. We
Yes,
are.
Exactly. We are children of Most High God, and we don't show it when we don't exercise these power. We cower away, and we just let life happen, and we just let whatever happen to us, and we accept anything that comes our way. But we have a mouth, we can speak, We have resources as we're being shown now that we do not have to cower away. We have the right to go and speak and fight and keep what truly belongs to us. That is beautiful. So now I'm put you in a little hot seat. It's just a mini hot seat, right? It's called rapid fire. And I just want you to say one word answers when I say certain terms. Okay. I just want you to give me one word if you can.
One word. Okay.
I'll see your mind. All right. Home warranty.
Necessary.
Living trust.
Control.
I like that one. Will.
Essential.
Power of attorney.
Critical.
Identity theft.
Devastating.
Oh my God. That is a good word. I love that. Credit monitoring.
Necessary.
Legal advice.
Priceless.
Love it. Emergency fund.
Life-saving.
Insurance.
I'd say protection, but I'd also say necessary.
And the last one, beneficiaries.
Legacy.
I love it. You said some incredibly powerful words. I felt them when you said it. I pray that the people listening felt those words. You said some, necessary, devastating. I mean, we need to pay attention when it comes to protecting what God, even just protecting our own person, protecting our say when we can't speak for ourselves, all of those things. So we need to know how to connect with you because this is vital information. I need the people listening to be able to connect with you, find you, ask you questions. So how can they connect with you?
The easiest way is my direct phone number. It's pretty simple. It's 770-580-5812. You can also email me, Gayle, Gayle, at gwarrenwealth.com.
Awesome. And I'm going to put all that information when I post it to the social media. I just want to thank you for spending this time with us. This was invaluable information. Yes. And I just thank you for being such a wonderful friend, a beautiful person, and just showing up for me. I really value our friendship. And I just really thank you.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity because, this information is so important. We don't want to wait until we need legal help, because by that time it's probably too late and we're going to pay. We're going to pay a lot. So let's be proactive, be preventive. When people get these insurances and the different things, car insurance, life insurance, we don't want to use that either. Life insurance, homeowners insurance, we don't want to use these insurances. LegalShield is not that. We function like an insurance, but we are an asset that you need to use. You need to be able to call and be preventive and proactive. Pick up the phone, speak to an attorney about your issue. Speak to an attorney if you think you have an issue, but have access. And it's roughly $1 a day to get access for yourself and your family. And that is why I said priceless, because it absolutely is. The peace of mind that we give people every day is absolutely priceless.
Priceless. Well, I thank you, and I look forward to having you on again. And yes, definitely doing more work with you. So I thank you. And look, thank you guys for watching. For more information and to contact Gayle, I'm going to put all that information in the description for you. Connect with this woman. You need her. And I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.